How's that possible? Well, first of all, you got to understand that school is the indoctrination centers that make you stupid. All of us start out stupid. There isn't anybody that comes into this world and grows up as a child and is not falling out of the dumb tree and hitting every stupid branch. All of us are scarred with it. But the smart individuals, the ones that are thinking outside the box, they get a taste of that bullshit and they think, this is better. It has to exist because I can't keep doing this. I got a wife, I have a husband, I have children, I have, my weekend warrior friends that I hang out with. But is this it? This is it? This is the American dream? I'm tied to a 30-year mortgage. I'm paying out my ass. And then the government tells me I better pay more rent and property taxes each year, or they take the thing that I own away. And I got to go back to that same place that I can't stand to work around the same people because they're in the same situation I'm in. They're miserable. You're forced to be among other livestock. And you're wondering why the place stinks like shit. You got to change your setting. You got to do that. Your employer ain't going to be like, you know what? You've been doing such an exceptional job. You deserve a new lifestyle. Let me make that happen for you. Don't report to work anymore. Stay home. I'm going to send you checks for nothing because you deserved it. You did very, very well. You were outperforming your quota for the last 6 months. And instead of employee of the year, you get a new lifestyle. Wouldn't that be great if it did that? Like that's what you all worked for. That type of thing. That's the kind of pension plan that would really get people wanting to work. But obviously, that's fiction. It's never going to happen. But you're either going to eat crap and deal with that the rest of your life until you can't do it anymore. That means get old, body breaks down, and live a miserable golden age of your life because you didn't do anything. See, you are watching me do it and others do it. And you may be thinking, I got time until something in my personal life, happens, and then I'll be more focused to do it. No, you need to focus right now. It's knocking. You're going to answer the door? Because if you don't do it, if you don't start working towards it right now, I promise you, in the next 6 to 18 months, you're going to be so overwhelmed with uncertainty, anxiety, fear, because of all the shit that's going to be going on in every country. You're not going to be able to study. And you're going to be so panicked. You're going to be so fearful of what's going to be happening to you. Where are you going to make your ends meet? Are you going to be evicted? Are you going to lose your home? Are you going to take your car because you can't pay the note on it? You have to find a way to make income. You have to. It's crunch time, folks. It's time to get off your ass, put aside all those things you're wasting time with, and start working towards learning this skill set while you can. Get what you can. You have to get up, shake yourself, see the opportunity, and seize it. Take it by force. You cannot sit around and rest on your laurels. You sit around like a lazy ass, I promise you, you will be crying. 18 months or less. That's the timeline. That's when shit gets really hard. I can appreciate a good-looking guy, and I can appreciate a good-looking woman. And some of these folks that I have as students, they literally have nothing wrong with them physically. They look, by all standards, they are attractive. They're successful people. They're doing well in their careers, and they're doing well in trading. But they're being plagued by not being balanced by having a significant other. And then because of that loneliness, they go into the marketplace and they push the button to do what? To feel good. They're allowing their personal life to manifest itself in trading. You cannot look for a feel-good experience in trading. If you treat it like a massage parlor and looking for a happy ending, don't be surprised if you end up with STD. It's as simple as that. You can't do those types of things. These markets will literally take you out. They'll make you second guess everything, remove all sound logic, and you'll lose control. Like a drunken, promiscuous affair on the weekend that your spouse doesn't know about. You'll be in there doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. So why invite it? Why live your life like that to allow manifestations of those types of things in your trading. Folks, this is your business. This isn't a game. This isn't a hobby. If it is, you're doing it fucking wrong. You're doing it wrong. Unless this is your business and you're minding your fucking business, you're going to fail. Because you are competing against yourself. And if you haven't removed all the toxic things in your life and found coping skills to allow yourself to be fruitful, balanced, productive, disciplined, do this, don't do that. If you can't do those things in your personal life, you sure as hell ain't going to do it in trading. Who's managing you? Who's your boss? Who's going to reprimand you for losing money? I am honest about where my limitations are, and I have no bones about saying this is where my weakness is. My weakness in my trading is always my exits. I'm never satisfied with them. Does that make me poor of a trader? No. It means I'm honest. It means that I do have weaknesses. I just don't know how to make them better than they are. And when you have frailties, you have to embrace them. Don't try to hide from them. Because the fact that you're trying to hide from them is the same thing that causes everyone to have drawdown, blowing accounts, because you're trying to do what? You're trying to avoid that losing trade. That one singular event where it's now taken something from you. You're trying to avoid that. And the fact that you're trying to avoid that singular transaction turns into a series and chain of them, then your account's blown. Because you've ramped up your emotional and psychological impact. You've done that to yourself. That singular trade that was a losing trade, you made it now more significant. That trade cheated on you. That trade went outside of the relationships and the boundaries you set for it. And now you feel betrayed. So what do you want to do? You want revenge.
Disappear from social media and do this instead.
You want to go find that motherfucker that cheated on you. And you go out there and you go into the marketplace looking for him. And you don't find them. You find somebody else. And they take again from you. And they take again and again and again. And you're hurt more each time. And it revs up that emotional and psychological impact. And you want it to go away. You want to feel victory. You want to feel like you've done the right thing. Because if you win, you've done the right thing. In your mind, that's what you're going to tell yourself. If you get the money back, you've done the right thing. And you didn't learn anything from that. When you should have said, stop it. This hurt me. I'm going to take a step back and heal. I'm not going to be in a rush to get into a new relationship, a new trade. But it's not comfortable waiting around for Mr. Right or Miss Right. Hardships. You're going to have issues where, you're going to feel like you got it figured out. You'll have a week or two, maybe even a month, where you just did everything right. And this is where you get in trouble, young men. You think that you got it all figured out, and then you have a losing trade. And it might not even be a significant loss. It might be something so small, 0.5% or whatever. You save the stop from getting hit full on. Like you had a 1% risk or 2% risk, and you saved it from getting knocked out, but still it's a loss. Now, you're not looking at the fact that you were able to mitigate the total 1 or 2% hit to your account because you protected the stop loss. You saw it was going to turn on you. You closed it before it went to your stop. That's commendable. That's a skill set, not to promote the idea of paranoia, but if you're beginning to trade with live funds, if you do that initially and you are aggressive about cutting your losses, that alone would probably keep you alive long enough to find a way to grind through the adversities. Because when you get a real good winning trade, it doesn't wait around. It just takes off. It just runs. But the problem with this business is you want to second guess yourself so much because you're trying to avoid losing. This is the number one characteristic of a losing trader. You're willing to hold on to a losing or questionable trade. Come hell or high water, you'll hold that. It isn't moving like you wanted it to, but damn it, you're not letting go of it. Because what happens if you close it and it runs in your favor? What happens if you're fucking wrong and you just held onto it too long? That's what usually happens. See, if your trade is right, it's going to show you right away. Well, the perception of others about them. That's what they're trying to have new equity highs in that. And that's the problem. When you go out and you start challenging people, especially people that's been doing it a long time, and you can't bring those results, that will rattle you, especially if you're a male. A male takes that personal. Again, it's like you're saying that they aren't that large downstairs. That's how they'll take it. That's what it feels like for a man in trading. If they are sizing up with someone else, or someone else is calling them or tapping them on the shoulder, that feeling of, I got to live up to that. Because what if everyone else thinks that I can't do this and can't do that? And then what they do is they start doing things that they can't really do. And they are regretting it. MyFX books, announcing they're going to do funded challenges, all that kind of stuff. Don't do those things. If you don't do those things, I guarantee you your results will be phenomenal, because you're placing no image in the results. You have no expectations held of yourself. You're not saying, I have to hit 20%. I got to do 10% a week. I got to do 100% in a month and a half or 2 months. All those types of goals are stupid. If you haven't been trading for at least 3 years and you're trying to do stuff like that, you're really making it more difficult than it needs to be. Versus, what happens if you just try to make 2% a week? Would you be happy if you had a funded account with, I don't know, $100,000 and you tripled it over the course of a year? I mean, how many of you would be like, fuck you, I don't want $200,000. Are you crazy? $200,000? What the hell would I want to have $200,000 for? That's insulting, ICT. Why would you even ask me that? That's what some of you are basically saying without saying those words. Because you want to double your account every month. What would $200,000 a year do for someone like yourself? Would it change your comfort? Would it make things a little bit easier? How about get yourself out of debt? Well, you don't have to work very hard to get that kind of result. It's very small little micro moves that you have to do. But when you make them for the week, you have to stop. Don't place any more Olympic feats on top of you. Don't try to live up to everyone's expectations of, hey, you're an ICT student, you should be out there killing it like ICT style. No. One good trade a week. Do it and be done. It's about making money. It's about making money, folks, okay? It doesn't matter how many little hearts you get behind your Twitter posts, or how many fanfare you get from all these other, I don't even know how Instagram works. Whatever that stuff is that would fluff a person up. Those things don't matter. Making fucking money does. Paying your bills does. Being able to eat. Taking care of your family. Paying your mortgage off. How about getting a house without a mortgage? Paying your car note off so that way you don't have to make any payments. New set of duds. Clothes. Doing something for someone that wouldn't expect it. Those types of things. That right there, that is a real motivator. Coping skills, going through the processes that I've taught in great detail on my YouTube channel. But the problem is, you're one of those individuals that want ICT to get right to the point. The point is, you don't listen. That's the point. The point is, you don't fucking listen. You're not trying to take good advice, and you just want to do it your way. You want Burger King fucking mentorship, okay? Have it your way. Well, have it your way mentorships don't make millionaires. That's the way that works, okay? It creates emotionally charged traders that hold on to losing trades too long, And then when they fail and blow up in your face, that creates that loser cycle where you want to try to get it back right away. You know what that means? You're going to lose more fucking money. And it just keeps repeating and repeating. And then finally you blow your account. And then what happens? You beat yourself up because you're going to look at the trades and say, why the hell did I even do that? There was nothing in the market. Why did I buy that? There was no fair value gap. There was no order block. It didn't even take sell side liquidity. What the fuck was I doing? You're chasing emotional charges that you put behind that decision. You completely abandon all reasoning and why you even are trading. You're not the only one that's done that. Everybody does that. Everybody does it. Why? Why is it so hard? Because you're competing with yourself. You have to live with yourself. You have to wake up in your own skin tomorrow and the day after. And the decisions that you make today and yesterday and what you'll make tomorrow come with consequences. And see, you want consequences to be sugar-coated, almost orgasmic in trading. You want them to be happy endings. Not to sound crude, but that's what you really want. You want a chance meeting with a stranger and a knock on your bedpost. That's what you want. You want every night to be a one-night stand and it's all good, feel-good moments. I'm sorry. Sometimes you're going to wake up next to a hand grenade, and that's just the way it is. And you are going to hurt yourself. But you got to say, look, you know what? I got pip drunk. I made some poor decisions. Thankfully, I'm not married to this person. And just slip out before they wake up and just live on, continue to trade and try not to do that same thing again. And this goes for both the ladies and the men. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody just whispered, I just did that last weekend. How's he know? I'm watching. I got my eyes on you. But the reason why it's so difficult trading is because you're competing against a fucking savage in the making. You are such a formidable adversary that you alone are the one that's holding yourself back. Nobody else is holding you back. These yahoos on the internet that say what you're trying to learn doesn't work and all that didn't stop you. People commenting saying, oh, well, you're doing this and you're doing that. This is the real way of doing it. That doesn't motivate you to go chase that stuff. You're sticking to this. But you're the adversary. If you take the energy that you place in worrying about stupid shit and people that don't matter, and you apply it to yourself and how you can build yourself up so that way you could be useful to yourself and your friends and family that are worth being around. Yes, I said that because there are family members that you shouldn't have in your